When you see a whole watermelon, the green surface is all you see. It is not until you cut through that watermelon that you realize that there is a white border followed by the pulp that you are actually going to consume, which is nothing like the outer green surface. It's red. But there is no way of you finding that out before you cut through the watermelon. If you understood that analogy, you understood exactly the kind of behavior that we are going to talk about in this video. But before that, I just want to clarify that I am not trying to objectify the men that we are going to talk about today. I am just giving an analogy. But if you still think that it is difficult for you to hear all of these things and see men being compared to watermelon, your point is completely valid and you can stop watching. That's completely fine. I understand. So there are mainly three phases. The first phase is the green surface. This green surface phase is when they do everything that you would hope they do. They would fit into all the standards that you have and they would act as if they are the best person that is there to exist, to ever embrace the world. And they keep on doing that thing over and over and over again. They never let you question anything. Like everything they do, it's just perfect. And it is to establish the illusion that they are creating in your mind about themselves. Because then comes the white layer, when they sprinkle a bit of their real personality, which is obviously toxic. So if the illusion is not well established, you would question their actions, like why did you do that? But if it is well established and if you have already believed them to be good people, healthy people, then every time they sprinkle those bits of their real personality, you would be like, this is very out of character. I should just forgive them because everybody makes mistakes. And before you know it, forgiving is all you're doing, and it gets tiring, it gets exhausting. And then comes the red phase, the pulp phase, where the cloud of the previous illusion finally moves and you have a clear vision of who they are, what they are capable of doing, and exactly how much you are hurt by all of this. But there is no way of knowing that beforehand, except in certain cases. But by that time, you're deep into the situation and it gets really difficult for you to get out of the whole mess. But props to the women who have already done that successfully and they have gotten over the heartbreak, the betrayal, and everything that their very public breakups brought. Now, before we dive deep into the video, I would like to give a disclaimer. If you're not mature enough to understand that somebody can have an opinion different than yours, or somebody can like or dislike something or somebody that you dislike or like respectively, and that is not an attack on you, then you're not mature enough to watch any of the videos I am going to post or I have posted or this video. So please move on with your life and let's start the video. Some very public relationships, very public breakups, divorces have also followed the same pattern. And the men that we are going to talk about, we are going to take as examples in today's videos, fit perfectly to that pattern. Starting off strong, we have Wizard Liz. So Wizard Liz is a very prominent or influential name of social media, of internet. You have probably seen her giving advices to women on how to become more confident, how to achieve everything that they want in their lives. Now, I do not agree with most of the advices that she gives, but that is a topic for a different video. In today's video, we are here to analyze the progression of her relationship and her breakup with Landon. Landon is her ex-partner who just happens to be another YouTuber with millions of followers, but he has been doing that for years, unlike Wizard Liz, who did that for a shorter period of time but established a lot more influence than Landon has. Landon used to make gaming videos, then he pivoted to other type of content. Apart from his YouTube career, Landon is also a CEO of a company named ARK, ARKH. It has not done very good in terms of revenue in the last few years. It's safe to say that his company was struggling. Landon started dating Liz, and after that they announced the engagement, and I do not know whether they were married or not, because there is some confusion there whether they were married or they were just engaged, about to get married, or whether they were married but not legally. But since she has called him her husband in the last video, I am going to refer him as the ex-husband as well. So after they got engaged, she made it official on her YouTube channel and she introduced everybody to Landon. And from the looks of it, Landon seemed like a total green flag, like a person who would never ever be able to even think of hurting Liz. But that is just the persona. That was just the illusion I talked about. He made sure to love bomb her, sending her money, buying her expensive gifts, expensive bags. And you might think that, okay, he is a creator with millions of followers and he has a company. So he probably does have that money. His net worth is in millions, and in one of the videos that Liz has posted, she claimed that he spends about $1 million on her, so he's spending a lot of his money on Liz. That is the story for a different topic, okay? We are going to unravel all of that, but the point is that he love bombed her because she has mentioned it multiple times that she likes a guy who does that. She likes a guy who showers her with gifts, with love, with affection. So he did exactly that. And if you read the comments on those videos before the cheating scandal broke out, people were saying things like, if she chose him, he is the standard. And people were appreciating him non-stop. And that's exactly what he wanted, right? Because he is acting as this person who is this amazing human being who just happens to have found his soulmate in Liz. So obviously people were like, this is so sweet, this is amazing, we are so happy for them. But months after that, they find out that Landon has tried to cheat. Not even cheated, he tried to cheat and failed because he made a Snapchat account and contacted another woman, and that woman knew Liz because she has millions of followers and she has very devoted fans. So she shuts him down and then contacts her friend who sends these screenshots to Liz, and Liz then makes it public on her Instagram story that Landon has tried to cheat, and also mentions that she is 4 months pregnant and she was cheated on by her husband in a relationship which is very, very new, when he was supposedly writing a book about how much he loves her, and he was doing everything she ever dreamed of. So she is thinking, okay, I have finally found the guy of my dreams, and he is thinking, I'm going to use her fame and I'm going to establish this image so that I can make money off of it. Or I can just look good in front of other people. Whatever the goal was, he was successful in doing that before he got caught for trying to cheat. Then we have Clara Dow. Clara Dow dated Javi.
Clara has not said anything about Javi cheating or him acting in any way that can be considered toxic, but his ex-girlfriend before Clara has come out and said that he used different identities to date different girls and he was possibly cheating on multiple girls at the same time, and he used to shoplift, and he possibly cheated on this ex-girlfriend as well. With who, that is not clear. It could be Clara, it could not be Clara, because the timelines of him dating Clara and him cheating on his ex-girlfriend that we are talking about are not very clear.
He is making breakup videos where he is talking about all these things that he has gone through the relationship, which just feels off. Like, if like a person who has been affected as much as he is claiming he has because of this relationship, it would show at least a bit. Nobody is that good of an actor, especially when the feelings are real, okay? And he is doing all of these things and it feels very off. But if you see the whole timeline of their relationship, Clara and Javi both are trying really, really hard to portray Javi as the green flag. She has never said a bad word about this man. She has never ever said that she was unhappy. She was saying that this is the best relationship of my life. And that makes you think, was it all real? Or was it just the illusion? And since they kept on doing it, because in his mind, this is a very famous influencer. So if I play all my cards right, by the time I have to end this relationship, I would have women liking me, because this confidence influencer, this influencer about body positivity who is really, really famous, who again had a very loyal fan base, they are going to like me too, because this woman obviously is not going to say anything bad about me. because I have established the illusion very well in her mind and in her followers' mind. So when we break up, it is going to be a very reasonable one in people's mind, and I can just be a very good person in other people's eyes. But things didn't go as planned, and Clara ends up having a boob job, which a lot of people feel betrayed by, and she starts getting a lot of hate for that, as well as the food habit video. And a partner who actually loves you, a partner who even just cares for you, okay, if you genuinely care for somebody, I would not be able to leave them at that stage of their life. I'm not saying it's their responsibility to take care of all the hate. You need to criticize that person for the things they have done wrong. If I remember correctly, there was this one video where Clara says that Javi asked her whether she thinks that he had a problem with her being flat-chested or not. And that is a very weird thing to ask somebody. If you have a problem with her flat chest, don't date her. Why would you ask her, don't you think I would have a problem with your flat chest? She was not thinking about her flat chest all the time. To think that a guy who is clearly showing interest in me is thinking about my flat chest. She wasn't thinking about it, dude. So anyways, it's just icky. And then we have the alpha of Try Guys, Ned Fulmer. He has recently tried to revive his career from the dead by making content again, which if you want to watch, you can watch. It's difficult to watch. Anyways, so when Try Guys were all the rage on YouTube, you may have seen this cast of Try Guys, and one of the guys was always trying to bring his wife into the conversation, always trying to talk her up, always trying to make sure that everybody knows that he is fortunate and he feels lucky that he is dating this woman. He should be, because Ariel is amazing. And then when everybody has this illusion established in their mind that this is the wife guy and he would never ever ever think of even hurting her in the slightest, you come out kissing one of the crew member. And you have established the illusion so bad that your wife, when she first sees the picture, like, who is that guy? That is not Ned. Because in her mind, you are not capable of doing such a thing to her. You are not capable of hurting her like that. And to betray somebody like that, not just Ned, but Landon, to betray somebody like that, when you have built a family, or you have promised to build a family, you have started building a family with somebody, and you do that, you have no idea what you're doing. Not just to them, but to everybody who watches them. They are not now going to go, and it has happened, because everybody is like, if Wizard Liz gets cheated on, what hope do we have? If Ariel gets cheated on, what hope do we have? And I think that's a very bad takeaway from this whole situation. Your whole takeaway from this situation should be, okay, so it is never about the person who gets cheated on. No matter how confident, no matter how rich, no matter how pretty, how attractive you are, nothing matters. So it is not my fault. It is their fault. And in all of these situations, if you see, there is always a pattern. They were very eager to come up and talk on the internet about how much they love these women. You have to know that love bombing is never a good sign. And even when you are a confidence coach, when you have millions of people following you, you can never see through a person who doesn't let you see their real version, who just is hellbound on showing you the illusion that you want to see. And then we have Chinese influencer Z, who went through a similar situation with her lesser known influencer boyfriend who happened to cheat on her. Stephanie Su made a video about Z, and you can watch it on her channel. I watched it from there, and it is very elaborate, and you can see exactly the pattern that I'm explaining here. Okay, they first love bomb you. They make sure that you have the illusion established in your mind, and also your followers, because this person, the ex that we are talking about, the ex of Z's, he came out and he said, you know what, I'm going to take off your dear near influencer. I am never going to hurt her. I am going to treat her like a princess and stuff like that. Love bombed her and said all of these like green flag things, and then went on and showed his real personality, which is toxic, which is hurting her, humiliating her, cheating on her. One thing I want you to take away from all of these situations of these influencers or otherwise is that cheating, or you being with a toxic person has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the person who decides to be toxic, who decides to cheat. Because when they were establishing this illusion of them being a good person, a healthy partner for you, that is their idea of a healthy partner. So they know how to be a healthy partner. They just chooses not to change themselves. And it is not your fault. It is not your fault they are this way, or it is not your fault that you had to date them. That should be your takeaway. It should be that no matter what I do, I cannot stop a man who wants to cheat or who is toxic from being the way he is. So it is not on me. I have done nothing wrong, and I do not need to question myself or my self-worth for the things they have done. That should be the takeaway. Not that, oh, if she got cheated on, if she had to deal with such a bad man, what hope do I have? It doesn't work like that. But also when I say that, I need to mention that Wizard Liz and Clara Dow, both of them have done something that I was not expecting them to do. And if they were as mature as they claim to be, they wouldn't have done it. Wizard Liz and Clara Dow both tried to humiliate the ex-girlfriends of their respective ex-partners, like Javi's ex-girlfriend and Landon's ex-girlfriend. They came out with their side of the story of what happened when they dated these men. And when they came out, Wizard Liz and Clara were both dating these men, and they came to the rescue of their men, which is much appreciated, but you should not dismiss the experience of another person because you were not there in the relationship. And I understand that you do not want to think of your romantic partner as a bad human being, and that's probably why you did that. But yeah, you ended up having some really bad experiences with these men. How would you have felt if other people were like, that did not happen? Oh, they are lying. Oh, I am prettier than you, so I would not be treated the way, because that's exactly what Clara insinuated. Like, I am prettier than you, so I am not going to be treated the way he treated you. When you're doing that, you are not just hurting that person, you are making your subconscious know that I am too good for something bad to happen to me. And when something bad actually ends up happening, you will not be able to handle it. That's what you're setting yourself up for. Because when you do that to other people, invalidate their experiences, you negate everything you stand for. They were all about girls, women supporting women. And when you're doing that, and then you go on and invalidate another woman's experience, you're invalidating everything you stood for. The core of your brand value, it gets invalidated with that one action. So yeah, that's all for today's video. If you have any opinions that are different than me, or if you think that I missed out on anything, you're more than welcome to share your opinions in the comment section, but be respectful not just to me, but to everybody who is commenting, who is sharing their thoughts. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.